Great words there from Lucky Dube and Baban. I hope you enjoyed that number. Different colors just for you on Gold FM. Only the classic hits. Louise with you on the Center Show. Well, thank you so much for the sweet company. This is Alana Miles, one of my favorites, and Black Velvet for you. Hi there. Join me on the Center Show every weekday from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. for the best sounds on Gold FM. Only the classic hits.
In this bulletin, Youth Parliament convenes after 10 years. New Zealand provides support to Fiji's dairy industry. And speed alert devices for Western roads. Good evening, I'm Jacquee Speight and this is FBC News. Youth parliamentarians have expressed their views on various issues in the Youth Parliament that has been held after a lapse of about 10 years. 50 young people participated in the forum today. Rashika Kumar has the details.
Youth parliamentarians were today given the platform to voice their concerns to the entire nation and more importantly to the leaders. One youth parliamentarian, Ravinesh Prasad, believes reviving the District Youth Council will ensure that youth voices will be heard at the national level.
I strongly believe that the youths have the capabilities of making decisions and they should be consulted in the decision-making process.
Another youth parliamentarian, Krishnir Sen, is the first person with hearing impairment in Fiji to graduate with a Bachelor in Science degree with honours from the Gallaudet University, which is the world's only deaf university in Washington, D.C. in America. Sen believes the biggest issues that persons with disabilities are facing at the moment is the lack of accessible services and equal access to information.
The government, together with relevant stakeholders, must look into setting up a disability resource centre to promote an understanding towards disability issues and mobilize support for every individual's dignity and ensure that the rights and well-being of persons with disabilities is being protected. I also urge the government of the day to increase awareness and assist in ensuring the smooth transition and integration of persons with disabilities in every aspect of political, social, economical, cultural life, and not forgetting the technological world.
A Master's in Journalism student, Sherita Sharma, says the media as a watchdog entity is subject to scrutiny at all times that would result in public outrage upon the media.
This year alone has seen a few cases of media practitioners being subjected to public threats. Contingency security measures must be included in this protectionist cause. Deputy Speaker, sir, I also recommend that the current penalties against media practitioners and organizations be reconsidered, taking into account the starting salary for journalists ranges from $11,000 to $15,000.
The Youth Prime Minister Paulini Turangabedi in her response says the youth parliamentarians need more time to comprehensively express their views. Rashika Kumar, FBC News.
After an absence of 11 years, 50 youths sat together today and addressed parliament issues that affects the young Fijian population. The last parliament was held in 2003 at the Old Parliament Complex in Veyuto Suva. Akusita Tale reports.
New parliament, new faces, new ideas. These 50 young people raised issues and spoke of new ideas that are close to their issues about representation of young women. 26-year-old Paulini Turangabedi, an assistant researcher with the Pacific Center for Peace Building, says she continues to fight for women to have a voice.
That is a really good reflection on how young people today are really for gender equality and who want to give those kind of leadership spaces to young women like me and women in general. And today's experience is very exhilarating. I know a lot of people might think it's just role-playing, but for us, we took it very seriously. We wanted our issues to be heard, and we know that our leaders will also take us seriously.
Rusiate Naulunimagiti has been subjected to discrimination because of his engagement in sex work. A total estimated number of sex workers were 857, of which 538 are females and 310 transgenders. Standing in Parliament today, the 24-year-old project officer for a sex worker-led network in Lautoka requested government to decriminalize sex work.
Well, I'm still doubting whether the government of the day are going to take into account what we as young people from the sex workers industry are crying out for, whether or not they would look into what we want or not.
Form 3 student of Xavier College in Ba Aliha Anshira says that age did not matter to her as long as she informed government about issues that are affecting her community in Ba, from food security, health services, poverty alleviation and climate change.
It was a very good experience for me. I liked getting the chance to finally speak out the issues that were in my area and like to finally get, attention on the issues.
The Fijian Election Office has come in strong support of the forum as it works towards civic education and awareness. Events such as these promote interest in elections, parliament, democracy and builds on the knowledge of young people.
Young people are good tools for election knowledge to be distributed, especially to be taken home. And in the last election we did not run away from that fact. We actually used that to our advantage, and certainly we'll make use of more of these forums, and maybe we should have one for women, and we can also have one for children from Parliament, from primary school, and this is actually going to build in more interest. Democracy doesn't come in a day, it's actually something that you have to build on.
Young parliamentarians hope they have done justice to young Fijians as there are more support for youths. Till the next Young Leaders Parliament Forum next year, young people have been encouraged to stand up and voice issues that concern them. Aku si Tatale, FBC News.
The dairy industry can expect support of up to $10 million from the New Zealand government over the next 5 years. Current support is around $2 million a year, and work has already begun on several initiatives. Maggie Boyle has the details.
Untitled dairy industry hit with high operational costs, natural disasters and disease may be making a comeback. The New Zealand government is forking out up to $10 million to revive the sector. Science Advisor for Agriculture and Environment of Agri Research Limited, Dr. Tanira Kingi, is leading one team.
I'm here representing the New Zealand government as a consultant to work with the industry so that the New Zealand government can provide support to the Fijian dairy industry to lift its productivity and to grow the industry.
Another New Zealand team has just completed a scoping exercise. Their focus has been on finalising a milk supply agreement between farmers and the Fiji Dairy Limited.
By the end of the year or in the new year, we should be able to have a new milk supply agreement, and that one can take us really forward.
For Dr. Kingi, the comprehensive review of Fiji's dairy industry will focus on 3 key areas.
The focus of our scoping report and our design report is looking at 3 key areas. One is to be able to lift the productivity of the farmers, and that's you. Secondly is to look at how the different organisations within the industry can be better coordinated so that the industry can grow. And thirdly, for the industry to grow, you, the farmers, need good information. And so we are also looking at improving not only information to you, but the information to the government and the information to the industry, so that the growth of the dairy industry, Fiji dairy industry, over the next 10 to 20 years happens in a managed and planned manner.
The report is expected to be completed by the end of March next year. The Fiji Cooperative Dairy Company Limited voted in 3 new directors to the board yesterday at their AGM. They are MP Balminder Singh, Jagdish Prasad and Bob Harness. Martin Compain, Kashmir Singh and Simon Cole have retained their seats, with Josefa Seralangilangi's chairmanship ending this month. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
New Zealand is offering 2 places in its military officers' school to the Fiji military forces as part of initial steps to re-establish the relationship between the 2 forces after 8 years. On the eve of his return to New Zealand, Defence Minister Jerry Brownlee met with his Fijian counterpart Timothy Natuva in NADI last night. Brownlee arrived on Tuesday and says his visit to Fiji and meeting with various senior officers from the Defence Forces is a start for the 2 countries. The Kiwi minister also noted that Fiji has made friends with other allies such as India, China, Indonesia and Russia. Natuva welcomed the visit by Brownlee, adding Fiji will continue to enhance its defence relations with its allies. The Fiji Roads Authority has introduced 2 new speed indicator devices to help increase safety on our highways. The aim is to help drivers keep within the speed limit in Lautoka. Christopher Chand reports.
The new devices have been set up at Lovu in Lautoka. Motorists will be warned if they are travelling above the speed limit.
It's not an enforcement device, it's a warning device to motorists to advise them of their speed going through the area. And that's why we're implementing it. It's not to ticket or to do anything like that, it's to encourage people to slow down.
FRA has bought the speed indicators at a cost of $56,000. The focus is on road safety.
They're coming into Lautoka and coming out of Lautoka were in our top 10 fatal crash sites throughout Fiji, so this is where the Western Division's been targeted with these devices.
The flashy signs will show what speed you are travelling at. If you are in a 60 zone and you are above the speed limit, it will show you this warning.
Any vehicle coming up to it that goes over 65, they'll get an exclamation mark with slow down flashing at them, up to the speed limit of 110, and anything below 65 to 60, they'll get the speed limit shown with slow down as well.
Speeding is one of the leading causes of road fatalities. The hope is that the devices will encourage better driving behavior. Christopher Chand, FBC News.
10 bridges to be rebuilt from next year, that's coming up.
It's now 6 o'clock right here on Big Breakfast, Today FM, today's hit music.
Hey, I'm Pauline.
And I'm Alan. Tune in to the Breakfast Show on Today FM with Pauline and I every weekday morning.
From 6 a.m. to 9 a.m.
Right here on Today FM, today's hit music.
Today FM, today's hit music.
Welcome back. This is FBC News. The Fiji Roads Authority will rebuild 10 bridges starting next year. 2 of the bridges earmarked for renewal are the Stinson Bridge and the Fletcher Road Bridge in Suva. Jacquee reports.
The authority is reviewing a list of bridges to be upgraded from next year.
Nearly 20 bridges a year if we're going to try and get on top of the rapid deterioration of bridges at the moment.
The Chinese government has donated $15 million towards the renewal of the 2 bridges in Suva.
About $4 million, I think, for Stinson, because we have to buy and demolish a building from the port, belongs to the port, and I think about $1 million for Vatawanga. I think there's 2 houses that have to be either moved or demolished to make way, and there are some services to be relocated.
The FRA will begin replacing the 10 most badly damaged bridges from early next year. 2 contractors will be hired to focus on renewing 4 long bridges, while the others will focus on repairing 6 short bridges. Jacquee, FBC News.
The Loma Loma jetty in Vanuatu has been reopened for public use. Local contractor Pacific Marine and Civil Solutions has completed work on the jetty. It took a week to complete the repairs, which include new steel pipes, beams and a steel plate decking. A team from FRA visited Loma Loma today to carry out final inspections and determine whether the structure was ready to start accommodating the boats. The jetty was closed in September for urgent repairs. The Habitat for Humanity Youth Bill 2015 movement is looking for young people to volunteer and build homes for needy families. There are plans to build 2 new homes next year. Shireen Lata has the story.
The Youth Build 2015 campaign encourages caring and concerned youth to take action together to build homes for the less fortunate. This is the model house which was built at Sukuna Park in Suva yesterday for public inspection.
Is focused on building volunteerism amongst youth and looking at how youth can work together to break the poverty housing cycle in Fiji.
This house costs around $8,500. Habitat for Humanity has 5 other models and the cost varies according to the size and location. People who want to get their houses built by the Habitat for Humanity will have to meet certain criteria.
We would look at gross family income, total family income, and generally speaking we're looking at $20,000 and under. That's for everybody in the house. They would have to have land, access to secure land.
More than 200 volunteers are part of this project. They will start building homes at the actual locations from February next year. Shireen Lata, FBC News.
78 students had their dreams come true after graduating with certificates, diplomas and degrees from the Fiji National University's campus in Lambasa. Education Minister and Chairperson of the FNU Council, Dr. Mahendra Reddy, reminded the graduates of their parents' sacrifice to ensure their successful graduation. Reddy says FNU is getting the highest amount of operating and capital grant of $38 million from the government. He says the government has some other plans for the students in the north.
The government is now committed to establish a fully fledged campus in Lambasa, a multi-million-dollar campus in Lambasa, where the university will try to bring all the programs which is possible without compromising on quality closer to your doorsteps.
Dr. Reddy wished success for the graduating students and reminded them about the future which lies ahead. Engineers of the Fiji Military Forces are celebrating Sappers Day today. This is an annual celebration that Fijian sappers celebrate with their colleagues around the world. Sappers are military engineers who often work under battlefield conditions. What Watisoni Rakandroka reports.
Visiting ex-sappers and current ones has long been the tradition on Sappers Day. Warrant Officer Class 2 Kelemenduanga says Sappers Day dates back to World War I.
The tradition goes back to the First World War in France. For those that the sappers always digging every day, they come across some in the winter time. They couldn't hold the shovels and the spades, so that's why they introduced the ramen coffee, in order for them to carry out the digging for the rest of the troops to cross or to undergo a warfield. That's why we still carry on with the ramen coffee or the hot coffee nowadays.
Another tradition on Sappers Day is to carry out community work.
Yesterday we carried out some community works. We undergo the repairing of old people's home at Samambula. Today is normally we do the celebration in the afternoon.
Celebrations will continue tonight. Watisoni Rekanroka, FBC News.
Akusita is back once again with the very latest in sports.
A very good evening. Coming up, hockey suffers major setback and Auckland City's dream run ends at World Club Cup.
It's now 6 o'clock right here on Big Breakfast. Today FM, today's hit music.
Hey, Hey, I'm Pauline.
And I'm Alan. Tune in to The Breakfast Show on Today FM with Pauline and I every weekday morning.
From 6 a.m. to 9 a.m.
Right here on Today FM, today's hit music.
Today FM, today's hit music.
Good evening and welcome back to sports. A lack of finance has again reared its ugly head within the Fiji sporting circles. This as the Fiji women's hockey side has been forced to pull out of the World League Round 2 competition in India next year. Financial constraints mean the Ellison Saudi coach side will sit out the Olympic qualifying tournament, whereas the fate of the men's side still hangs in balance. Chalendo Takataka reports.
Bad news for the outstanding women's national hockey side. 2 weeks after capturing the Oceania title in Suva, the Fiji side will have to relinquish its place to runners-up Papua New Guinea due to financial difficulties. Each player needed to raise $3,000 and the burden was too much to bear for the team as a whole.
The decision for the women not to attend was made quite a while back, but obviously we had to participate in the competition. Because there's always times that something might change, but the message also too was it's going to be a big financial requirements, not only of the federation but of the athletes themselves.
Fiji Hockey Federation have delayed their decision on the men's fate, waiting until 7th January to deliver the final verdict.
We got to look at the availability of the players, the funds that is required, not only of them, of us as the members of the Fiji Federation, and also to the request that we put out, and we have to wait too. So actually we are waiting on answers too, so when we're asking for something we can't be too forceful.
It's a sad outcome to what was a spirited display from the Fiji teams at the National Hockey Centre. This is not new for sports in Fiji, and in particular for minor sports, which have great potential to put the country on the world map. FBC Sports.
The TFL Fijiana side has set a goal to improve with every tournament in the Rugby Women's Series. After losing in the plate final in Dubai, Fijiana will feature in the Brazil Sevens in February. Josephine Navula has the details.
The TFL Fijiana side braved the heat as they work on lifting their performance come the Brazil Sevens in February. Team coach Ilyasa Taniwula says they are not underestimating any teams they will face in the tournament.
It gets tougher every leg, but I guess that's a challenge for us, just to get out there and compete and try and improve from our last performance in Dubai. So hopefully we'll take another step up and improve.
Taniwula adds there are still some areas to improve on.
I guess for us just to maintain our fitness level, the conditioning, and that's something we're concentrating now this week and next week, and hopefully the girls will step up.
The squad will also be looking at improving from the last outing, as the team is currently in 6th place with 10 points.
The response from the girls has been good, and the girls in the extended squad, so everyone is reviving to get on the trip.
The side will remain in camp during the festive season to train for the next tournament. Josephine Navula, FBC Sports.
The TFL Fijiana side has drawn with Australia, host Brazil, and China for the next round of the World Rugby Women's Sevens Series. The side, which lost the plate final to England 1912 in Dubai, is back in training for the tournament. Other Pool C's New Zealand takes on France, USA and Spain in Pool A, while Pool C has South Africa, Canada, England and Russia. The tournament will be played on February 7th and 8th. The development of Australian Football League in the country is heading in the right direction. Plans are underway to start off the competition in secondary schools from next year.
AFL Fiji is planning to start off a secondary school competition for second term in line with rugby, soccer and other competitive sports in Fiji. So it'll be very good. It's a first introduction into the secondary school AFL competition. It'll be in only 2 grades. There's the under 15 and the under 17 grades. So hopefully next year it'll kick off in a good start.
Fiji won the Oceania Cup, beating Nauru in the final last week in Suva. Auckland City Football Club's dream run at the FIFA Club World Cup in Morocco ended in heartbreaking fashion today. Auckland City will now play Mexico's Cruz Azul in the third-place playoff on Sunday. Liverpool secured a much-needed victory as Raheem Sterling scored twice in a League Cup quarter-final 3-1 against Bournemouth today. The side has been having a topsy-turvy season, and this win may help them stabilize. Here are the goals. And that was your sports for this evening. It's back to Jacquee for business.
Trials in potato farming have been stepped up as the government looks at ways of reducing our dependence on imported potatoes. Shanal Sivan reports.
The red Pontiac variety of potatoes have been planted in parts of Tailevu, Naitasiri, Kandavu, Nadronga and Ra in recent months. This is part of the government's ongoing efforts to grow potatoes locally and cut the import bill.
Farmers have invested and we are keeping the seeds now. This is again on trial. We're trying to use various methods of conservation to conserve the seeds for the off-season. We hope to plant again early next year in time for the main season, which is around April, May, so that we can produce more of our own seeds.
This is not the first time that Fiji has tried to grow its own potatoes. 4 years ago, the government supported potato farming in Nandarivatu. Some potatoes were harvested and sold locally. However, it was found that seeds imported from New Zealand were not suitable to continue planting them. The red Pontiac seeds have been imported from Queensland, and the Ministry of Agriculture has set aside $150,000 for potato farming.
We hope that we can fulfill the demands of the local market. But again, I will not be able to give a definite time frame. But we are working on that, and we hope we will at some stage be successful and have our own.
Potatoes are 3 months relatively low maintenance crop, and there are about 600 potato farmers around the country. Fiji consumes about 18,000 tons of potatoes, which are imported at a cost of $20 million annually. Shanal Sivan, FBC News.
Occasional showers were experienced over the northern parts of the group today. Elsewhere, mostly fine weather prevailed. A trough of low pressure remains slow-moving over Tuvalu and extends southeastwards over Samoa and southern Cooks. Another day of maximum temperatures reaching the 30s. NADI recorded the highest at 33. Occasional showers over Vanua Levu, Taveuni and nearby smaller islands, northern Lao group, the interior and eastern parts of other larger islands. Elsewhere, cloudy periods with afternoon or evening showers. Saturday's outlook: occasional showers over the eastern parts and interior of larger islands, including Lao and Lomaiviti group. Elsewhere, afternoon or evening showers. And just a quick recap of our headlines again. Youth parliamentarians expressed their views on youth-related and national issues at the Youth Parliament that convened after almost a decade. The dairy industry can expect support of up to $10 million from the New Zealand government over the next 5 years, and New Zealand is offering 2 places in its military officers' school to the Fiji military forces as part of efforts to re-establish the relationship between the 2 forces after 8 years. This week's poll question, we're asking: has Christmas been over-commercialized? Visit our FBC website to take part. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. And if you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC News or simply #FBC News. That's our news for tonight. Join us again tomorrow. Bye for now.